Yo, listen up, it's time for a tale about a podcast that'll leave you frail. Hard way wrestling coming at you raw, bringing the heat, breaking every law. They drop the truth, no holds barred, talking smack, getting you hyped up hard, calling out the fakes, exposing the lies. Hard way wrestling taken by surprise. Hard way wrestling coming to your city. Nothing but realness, nothing but grit. Going down a gauntlet, making them mark. Hard way wrestling, straight from the heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hard Way Wrestling. Today is Wednesday, and this is going to be a new show that we're going to be doing on Wednesdays called NXT Shakedown. Ladies and gentlemen, and to join me in all of this, in all the craziness that we're going to get into, I'd like to welcome back to Hard Way Wrestling, one of the founding members of Hard Way Wrestling, one of my best friends, Wyatt Scotty, is in the co-host position. Ladies and gentlemen, big hand for Wyatt Scotty. What's going on, big man? How you doing today?
What's up? And Jim. What's going on, man? We had a lot of stuff that happened last night at NXT. We should get into that stuff.
Yes, sir. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, just very quickly, if you like what we're doing here, let's go ahead and like, subscribe, hit that notification bell on Hard Way Wrestling. We would genuinely appreciate if you want to, love seeing my beautiful face here, please hit that like and subscribe. If you want to see me kicked off the show for good, never come back, also like and subscribe, and give the thumbs up. It would be a big help to our show. But
use these.
I don't think that usually works, but I mean, it works on Apple anyways. I know you can do that on an Apple phone.
Yeah.
But really quickly, let's get into what the show is going to be. This is going to break down NXT weekly. We're going to talk about the NXT show on Tuesday nights. Not only that, but we will be also doing, as NXT does its pay-per-views, we will be doing that, talking about the pay-per-views and what is upcoming, NXT news, all that kind of stuff. But last night was an NXT, a regular NXT show. Wyatt, I believe you have the card up and ready, so let's get ready to talk about that.
Yeah. So obviously the first match of the night was the 6-man tag team match with the favorite tag team name. I'm going with Thank. Bite me.
I love it. Hank and Tank.
With Joe Hendry. A great way to start the match off tonight. I mean, last night was a great way to start.
And they were against DarkState, if I remember correctly.
Yes. They were a really good match to start off last night. I'm trying to get a better detail of the card, but WWE's not working for me, man.
I'd try Bleacher Report or one of the other sites, but watching that match last night to start the show was, again, it was a very good match. New favorite tag team in my view is Hank and Tank. I love those guys. They just took the belts off of Axiom and or Fraxium, I should say, Frazier and Axiom.
Yeah,
and very interesting tag team. They got a lot of energy, and adding Joe Hendry to that mix. The opening segment where the three of them did Joe Hendry's little pose was hysterical. I loved it. But they went up against some stiff competition in DarkState. That is for sure. Mm-hmm. This is a team, a 4-man unit that, in my view, these guys are legit. I've watched some of their stuff over the last couple weeks, and I was watching their pay-per-view match against the family, the Italian family. I can't remember their name now. Brain completely blanking out. But D'Angelo, thank you. Our producer there in the background. D'Angelo family at Stand and Deliver. And again, DarkState is a really very tough, they're a very focused faction. They're trying to take over NXT. So I am this match was definitely a very interesting styles and different things. Just hard hitting, Hank and Tank going at it, and Joe Hendry being there, of course, was definitely a real. The crowd was definitely into everything that Joe did.
I'm telling you, the more they stuff to do with, the more they do with Joe Hendry, the more tickets they're going to sell.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
He's a great wrestler and a really great theme song. He will get you in the building quickly.
Yes, most definitely. He in some ways is, I think, a slightly better Jey Uso, because just like Jey Uso, he's over, but he comes with a little bit more pizzazz than Jey. And I think he's better in the ring. I think Joe Hendry's better in the ring than Jey Uso is. But again, we will see how that whole thing goes. But
yeah, but what do you get more, the clap or the yeet?
Yeah. See, I like the clap better in my view.
Well, that takes you back to the Friends theme song. It's just, every hit song that's had a thing, clapping is always the big thing in those.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true.
I didn't even forget, the way this ended, Trick Williams came out.
Yes.
And went after Joe's, so TNA is building off that rivalry between those two so far.
Yep.
I want Santino to appear on WWE Network again. Please. I wish he was the general manager addressing and making that match official, not the other one.
Yeah, no, I agree. Although the one thing I would love to see, and this is slightly different for Raw or SmackDown, but before John Cena leaves, I want to see Santino come back out and address
the Cobra.
No, I want to see him address John Cena as John Cena.
John Cena. Oh man,
that would be hysterical. But that's another subject for
I would love that.
But yeah, so Trick Williams comes out, interferes, and then what happened after that?
He had a very big night though. Trick would later show up in the Battle Royale later on.
Yeah.
This match was Zaria and Kelani Jordynne.
Well, hold on. Go back one second, because DarkState won that match, though.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, DarkState went over thanks
because obviously the attack on Hendry and
Trick Williams. Yeah.
Stuff.
Yep. But yes, the next match was
Zaria and Kelani Jordynne.
Definitely a good match. Again, I'm still the one thing with the women's division in NXT that I am.
We had this conversation, last night. The women's division is for NXT is class above the main roster on Raw, SmackDown.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about when we watched the promo that Becky was doing about the garbage and recycling. All of a sudden, I thought I was looking at the PR person for Waste Management.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. What they've done with Becky, they're doing with Cena, and it's the same thing. It's just dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
Women, that match was insane. The moves they were putting out on each other that night, unbelievable.
And if I remember correctly, Zaria took that one, correct?
I'm having struggles. I believe so. Yeah.
Nice.
Zaria took that one.
Again, very good match. And again, for me, the thing is, I'm still getting used to the NXT women's division. And that's, so, I know the names. I just don't know the personalities and the stories and what they've been building and what they are going to continue to build with some of these women. But I know that Zaria is definitely, just watching Zaria is again, she's definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Well, the amount of near falls that match was insane.
Yeah, that is true.
You had Zaria counter, Jordynne split leg moonsault into a spear.
Yep.
Then you had the moonsault to the outside. Just the amount of things that were happening in the ring and then using the mat outside of it was just insane.
Yeah.
For just a one fall. Not even for a disqualification match, nothing. It was just pure chaos in that ring.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a good match, and definitely I'm looking forward to seeing what Zaria and Kelani Jordynne are both, gonna do. Hopefully they aren't on the next round of releases that might be happening. I mean, we talked on a previous show with the regular guys about the releases recently. Hopefully some of these people are still going to be around, because I know NXT is one of the first places that people get cut from.
Yeah.
So
well, and the other conversation we had on top of that was with those cuts. It's all the mid card It's not like the higher end. These women that are coming up from NXT are showing that they could be head of the card, not in the middle, not in the back. They're at the front.
Yep.
With their move sets. I mean, that match was great to keep the night going and just promote NXT even more.
Yep, most definitely. So what was next?
The biggest thing?
Yep.
So obviously the other fun part about last night was the 25-man battle royale to become the #1 contender for the NXT Championship.
Well, first of all, I don't know about you, but especially in battle royals, sometimes in Royal Rumbles, I will choose who I think is going to be the final four. So in my head, like, especially in battle royals, because
Okay, Booker. Or Lawler when he chose every person that came out last.
Everybody that came out. Yep. No, exactly.
I picked Mysterio. Oh, he lost. Never mind.
Yeah. I think one time King did that with Santino, and that's the night he got eliminated in like 3 seconds.
4 seconds. Yeah. I can see that. I mean, Booker was like, oh, well, was it like Ethan Page?
He had Ethan Page. He had
and then the surprise entrant later.
Yeah, Javon Evans. He had a whole bunch of different people he was choosing.
So who were your top four to finish that?
My top four, which was, again, I got a couple of them right, it was Shawn Spears, Ethan Page, and I was calling Trick Williams and Elijah, who made the surprise entrant at the very end before the battle started. I called those four to be my top four in this.
That got
2 out of 4 right. But the battle royal was definitely interesting. There were a lot of names that I was surprised that stayed in towards the very end.
Yeah.
One of them was a guy named Miles Bourne from the no quarter catch crew. I didn't say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, no, that I think Sean really needs to just do an acronym.
Yeah.
It's like SHIELD from Marvel. It's just too much.
Yeah, well, they have their acronym down, but it's like that's even hard to say. They were chanting it last night at one point. But yeah, like so Miles
Bourne is the one that won that match.
Yeah, and the 4 guys that were left though were Javon Evans, Miles Bourne, and then like I said, Shawn Spears and Ethan Page.
Yes, yeah. I could see that. I was watching it last night.
Yeah, he definitely his rotating power slam looked exactly like Orton, which I even thought to myself like, is he training under Orton or something like that? Like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, this match was filled with highlights. I mean, obviously before the match started, Elijah showed up from TNA.
Yep. Yeah. Do we walk
back?
Yeah, that was a great thing. Like hearing the welcome back.
No, welcome back. It was like welcome home.
Yeah, or welcome home. That's what it was. Because I never when he went to TNA, I was not expecting to see him back on WWE television anytime soon, even with the TNA deal.
But even when he was, had that really weird gimmick where he was the twin brother.
Yeah,
he still had a pop.
Yeah,
he still had pops. People like him. I mean, his physique and his mantra is interesting.
Do we walk with Elijah?
And I do like Elijah better than I do with Elias because Elijah's more of a profit name, but that's just
exactly.
But yeah, and then of course Trick Williams did come into the match and cleared a lot of the talent out.
Yep.
But Joe Hendry came out of nowhere and got his payback and eliminated him.
Yep.
From that #1 contenders match.
Yep. And again, going down to those final 4 with Javon Evans, Shawn, Ethan, and Miles Bourne. Like I was watching, I honestly was pulling for Javon Evans to win. I wanted to see Ethan Page first and foremost, but I was watching Javon Evans. I was like, he's already had a couple of title shots. I was like, maybe he'll get another one. And watching him do some of the stuff he did, I was like, holy cow, why haven't I been watching this guy before? He did a move on the bottom rope. He literally slingshotted himself into the bottom rope, butt first, caught the bottom rope, bounced back up, and his feet didn't even touch the mat. I'm like, where did this come? It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, why haven't I been watching this guy more closely recently? So I'm actually going to make it my mission to go and seek out some more Javon Evans stuff and see what he's because I'm after that whole deal. I'm a big Javon Evans fan,
Mhm.
but the surprise of the night was Miles Bourne winning that because he was not one that I would have ever called to win that match.
And, you know, and out of everything, and the cool thing is he is also, if understanding correctly, he is legally deaf too, correct?
That yes, he is. I did not know that. Wow.
Did you not? I could hear the speech, and of course, being a teacher, that's where it goes to. So I heard the speech. He has been through that. I think that's really cool of that. And obviously, after winning it, there's already tension in that faction.
Yeah, exactly.
So we should.
maybe-
Who knows? At their live event, they could have a faction. Who knows?
Yeah, at Battleground.
At Battleground, which is Memorial Day weekend. Which
yes, it is.
Miss. But we'll definitely get you caught up on the highlights of NXT.
Yep.
But we can't forget that Ethan Page and Sean Spears eliminated each other.
Yes, which
At the
was
same
another.
Again, I'm so glad that those two are back in WWE rings. Obviously, the other Ipswich on the other side of the aisle doesn't know how to use his talent properly. But since their two making their returns have been fantastic.
Yep. Yeah. The calling, which is Sean Spears' crew, is definitely again like there's like I'm not as necessarily a big fan of all these factions, like in the sense of like I think sometimes companies have too many factions. But you know, with the D'Angelo family kind of starting to break up, and but they have the calling, they have DarkState, and they also have No Quarter Catch Crew.
Yeah.
Like you know, the fact there's definitely some interesting dynamic with all these factions, but yeah, and they're all intertwined together in some respect because you know this guy's had a feud with this guy, and you know, so it definitely. In my view, it works better here than it does in other companies. So I'm definitely very interested to see what happens with all these different factions going on. But Miles Bourne from North Dakota, yeah. See, I can't even say it. No Quarter Catch Crew.
They didn't change it.
Yeah.
And Jim agrees.
But
yeah, and then there's two more matches left on this ticket from last night.
Yep.
We have Jada Parker who defeats Carmen Petrovich.
Yep. Good match, and I've become a big Jada Parker fan, especially since her I watched her match at Stand and Deliver with oh gosh, it was versus Stephanie Vaquer versus Giulia versus who's that skinny girl?
There's a lot of them in that.
Jason, help me out. The girl that's been teaming or has fought with Bailey. Gosh, I can't think of her name. She's been on the main roster going with Giulia against not Asuka against. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that against Io Sky. My brain just completely blanked out. Anyways, thank you, Perez. Brain just.
Yo, moron, turn me. Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah, Roxanne Perez. Thank you. Yes, that was a good match. Jada Parker had a good showing in that, and I was like, man, this girl's got something. Yeah, I'm interested to see what she's going to be doing. And again, she's been around for a while, but again, haven't been watching NXT, so like watching her at Stand and Deliver was good. So I'm definitely interested to see what they get with Jada Parker here soon.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's again, like we talked about, this women's division has got a lot of hot talent in it. I mean, it's the move set that these women have in the locker room and on the ring. It's just amazing.
Yeah,
because it topped out with the main event from that night. Jordynne Grace defeating Giulia, the number one contender to go against Stephanie Vaquer at Battleground.
Yep. So definitely looking forward to that. And again, like, you know, we have got like women like Giulia, Jordynne Grace, Vaquer, Jada Parker, you know, all these different women who, in my view, when they go up to the main roster, I mean, I know Giulia and Roxanne and a couple other, and even Vaquer have been up on the main roster, just briefly doing different stuff. But when they get fully called up, this is the next generation of women's wrestling. I mean, we're looking at the next Charlotte, the next Bailey, the next Becky Lynch. Yeah, we're looking at the next Becky Lynch. We're looking at all these women are really going to help continue the WWE trend and get, and again, like with women's wrestling like this, like it like I'd like to see more of it. Like, I definitely enjoy.
I mean, that's like when we talk about those matches, we used to do the betting and where the point system and stuff.
Yeah, the predictions that we call it the predictions challenge now.
Yeah, you have those bathroom matches.
Yes.
With these women from NXT, there really are no bathroom matches because they are taking it to the limit.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened with the main event last night. I mean,
Jordynne
Grace,
Jordynne Grace is something else. Like, she definitely, like, what was it? So she took Giulia. This was the move of the night for me. She took Giulia in a tombstone pile driver position, hauled her backwards over her head, and like German suplexed her in the weirdest German suplex I've ever seen.
Yeah, and wasn't it that superplex on the top rope where she rolled through it?
Yes, there was that too.
And put her over her head.
Yes, dude. Like Jordynne Grace, like I would not want to meet her in a dark alley. Like she'd beat my ass.
No.
So, but
obviously, at the end of that match, Stephanie Furker came out and did a little bit of stare down.
Yep.
To get us ready for Battleground, which is again Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah. Gonna be interesting. I'll definitely we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. We might not be able to come to you the next day with the pay-per-view results, but we will definitely be back soon after, as Wyatt and I will be out in Indianapolis for that weekend, going to the Indy 500. But we will definitely find a way to keep you updated about all the NXT stuff. But
yeah, man. And overall,
but yeah, Battleground is looking
was about what, an 8?
A
B grade?
About a 7.5, 8 for me. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Because I mean, there were some technical glitches, but other than that, the wrestling fans were quite explicit with some of their mic drops last night.
That was the one thing with that show. There was a lot of
swearing,
a lot of sound, like dropping the mic sound because people were swearing. And there was a couple points, you didn't see it, but there was a couple of points where the screen went black because I don't know if somebody was giving the finger or whatnot, but
yeah, maybe
there was
or flashing somebody, which would be really obscure.
Yeah, that hasn't happened since the DX era, but
hey, you don't know. Someone could get drunk. But I mean, this is just the first night of this. I mean, going forward and watching these stories develop going to be great going into Battleground.
Yeah,
obviously, and two more nights of this before Battleground.
Yeah, and we have some great matches already set up for Battleground. Again, Miles Bourne versus Elba Femi. And one other thing that they didn't show it, but they're next week on NXT. There's going to be a contract signing. Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams for the TNA title for Battleground. So the TNA title will be defended at Battleground as well, which I think is going to be great. So we have that match.
Which is interesting because this is the first time TNA will have, I believe, a WWE match that'll be televised like that. Like the belt is up for grabs at a WWE event.
I can't remember. I think they did something not too long ago with that on one of their other pay-per-views. Our producer is shaking his head no, so I guess they have not. But interesting. Okay, good to know. Again, I did not. I for some reason thought we had done a predictions challenge where we had talked about the show, but I guess that was for it. Title. That's what it was. That's right. I do remember now. But yeah.
And I mean, out of all of this stuff, I mean, TNA's got some great talent. I'm curious to see if we'll see anybody else come up for that main roster at some point from TNA.
Again, like TNA isn't like they're not completely stacked with talent, but they definitely have guys that can do the job and do like are good wrestlers and could throw some good stuff with
Yeah,
with
but
the
you could have
NXT.
surprise returns though with this company now.
Yeah,
You have the Hardy Boys that are still there. You could bring back Nick Namath and Evan Bourne. There's so many WWE alumni on TNA you can bring back and do these small scale shows like NXT and produce and get more ratings to beat out any other company right now.
Yep, exactly.
I think what they'll do with Elijah moving forward too.
Yeah, and honestly, like the one thing I would love to see them doing in TNA is, again, in my view, Elijah is worthy of a world title. Like, he may not be a WWE world title contender, but he is definitely a TNA world title contender. And I would love to see him get that TNA world title at some point and then come up and have some battles with, the NXT champion. I think there could be some great stuff with that. So, there's some ways to really, again, cross promote and turn things into, go different ways with everything. But right now, Joe Hendry is a great TNA champion, so we'll keep it on him for a while. But yeah, I think and I'm interested to see this Trick Williams Joe Hendry match. That's definitely,
those two are both very good performers at what they do.
Yep.
And I think you're gonna see a probably good B- B+ match from those two.
Yep, most definitely. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, that was NXT for this week. Listen, again, this show, like, we love bringing this kind of content to you. So please, let's go to the YouTube, smash that like button, give us the thumbs up. Go and subscribe. Anybody that hasn't subscribed, what are y'all doing? Like, seriously, what what are y'all doing at this point? Because we are, we need your subscriptions. We need your love here in this show. And I mean, we need your hate too. Like, if you hate us, please let us know by liking and just come at us. Like, I don't care what you do, just give us that subscribe.
I don't want that part of this.
Yeah. But also, we have, speaking about Battleground, we have a predictions challenge. If you go to our link in our bio at Patreon, it's $5 a month. You join in, you get to do the predictions challenge. We get, it's a good time. We have a lot of fun when I remember to put my card in, because, I'm an idiot and
you're so bad at that.
I am so bad at it because my brain.
Even around me, you're just like, oh shit, predictions.
But yeah, like $5 a month, it's like a busted drum or a sore dick. You just can't beat it. So join up with us, have fun, get the predictions challenge, beat Jason. Jason is our current champion right now, and he thinks he's unstoppable. But I want to find a way to stop him. I like there's got to be a way to take this belt off of him. But yeah, join the Patreon again. Like and subscribe. We love you guys. Thank you for everything you guys have given to us as fans. And we will be here next week on The Hard Way.